Welcome back to the last episode of the Supernaturals. Not forever, just this season. And
right,
we are excited to have you here.
Sorry, are we good with this? It's hot in there. I can't hear anything. Hang on. What's up, guys? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. It's great that it's finally here.
I just wanted to show you the mask. I'm being obviously Star-Lord. It's kind of sick.
Here we are, dressed up, festive today.
Hope you guys are too.
I don't know if you can tell what I'm wearing, but I am in my Moon Knight costume.
Hell yeah. We're marveling it up in this bitch.
Sure are.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody, I hope you guys are all, chilling. It's a spooky Halloween night when you're choosing to listen to us. Should we talk about our stuff today, like NPR? Just, hey guys, welcome to the Supernaturals Halloween special. Ghosts and ghouls.
I don't know, but I am sweating.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot going on my outfit, man.
Jake's got it's sick. I mean, it's
really
really
sick,
cool.
but like, dude, it's hot.
It does have a lot of parts.
It needs to be a little colder outside, I'd say. But that's all right. We got coffee. Grab your drinks.
Yeah.
Settle in. Because this is about to be some fun little stories we got for you.
Yeah, so
that you guys gave us.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about what we're doing today.
So we asked for your submissions of haunted things, ghost stories, even just crazy things that happen around the holidays. And you submitted, we received, we read, and now we have some to share. So sit back, relax, and maybe you'll hear your story tonight.
Yeah, we picked the best ones. They're all good, right? But we picked the
best in our opinion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But we're, if you guys like this idea of having essentially you guys talk, just using our voices, if you like that kind of style, we'll definitely have more of these types of episodes in the future. I think they're fun, because we can only share so many of our experiences before it gets boring. But
it was just fun to read everybody's experience,
Yeah, it's cool. We've all experienced different things, and whether you believe or not, Jake doesn't believe because he didn't experience things that I've experienced, and it could be the same for you out there. So having somebody else's take on it is pretty cool. So. But
would agree.
Happy Halloween, though. This is my favorite holiday.
It's true. It's the last day of October. It's freaking almost November.
Yeah, and then
time is full.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna bust out the Christmas music. Hell yeah, it's ready to go. This pumpkin spice is gonna transfer over to gingerbread, and it's gonna be sick. So yeah,
I love Christmas music, man.
Me too. But as of right now, we're talking about Halloween, bitch.
This is Halloween.
Yeah, that's a good movie to watch. When you're talking about the Halloween rituals, that was a Nightmare Before Christmas is one that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, my nephews always watch that.
Yeah, you can't really. It's not really a Halloween movie, but it's also not really a Christmas music or Christmas music. Got Christmas music on the brain. Christmas movie, but it is. It's both.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like super cool that you can, I guess, watch it on Halloween and then have it take you to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like a journey there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It is cool.
You know what else is a good Tim Burton claymation movie? I think it's Tim Burton. Corpse Bride. You ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a really.
I've
good
only
one.
seen it twice though.
Really, dude, that's a good one. Coraline is obviously good. That's not Tim Burton though, is it?
I don't know.
That's not Tim Burton.
So.
That's not Tim Burton. But
claymation is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just see claymation and I go Tim Burton.
Wasn't there a claymation horror movie?
Stop motion.
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about. Yeah. We still have to watch that.
I
but
know.
I've heard good things. So
yeah, I know. Andy's been kind of pressuring us into trying to watch that.
Yeah. Well, before we start, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who started this journey with us and is now ending this journey with us.
Just for the season.
Just for the season.
Just for the season.
Just for the season. It's not ending. But, you know, I mean, we'll see you guys in about a month with our Thanksgiving special, and then we'll have the Christmas special, and then we'll have the Valentine's special, and then the St. Patrick's special, and that'll lead us up into season 2. But
It's true. From the bottom of our hearts.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
This has been fun. We've been getting a lot of traction.
Yep, and that's the episode.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So I don't know. Pretty cool.
This is not the end of the content, though.
No, we're gonna, if you follow our socials, mostly our TikTok, or YouTube, we'll be posting,
Which we encourage you to do, because we will be posting some fun little shorts and videos along the way up till the specials.
yeah. If you want more Cal and Jake, which we hope you do, then yeah, we encourage you to check out our socials, and we'll be posting some good old content. So it'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Let's
Hell yeah.
just get right into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna start by telling you, I think, probably the scariest horror story that I have.
Sure. Let's hear it.
So I just want to say, for everybody, you know, this is mine. It's really personal. I don't encourage anybody to do it, but I will say it was a really dark and stormy night, and I got back with my ex.
Not the X. No.
No, not recently. Well,
Which one?
yeah.
All jokes aside, let's hear it.
No, that was it. That was literally it. It was just a joke.
I really thought, I was like, I'm sitting back, I'm like relaxing, thinking, man, have I not heard this
He's
yet?
like, where are you going with this?
I'm just sitting here and going, wow, okay, Cal has a story I haven't heard. Me and
Nah.
the viewers are going to sit here, listen.
No.
Nah, get punked.
No, Jake had a first row seats to that story.
Sure did.
So, all right, Jake, you can start us off.
Okay, well, I got to take off the glove because I don't know if
Oh,
it's
we
gonna
also-
scroll there, but
Didn't have we don't have the users' names here.
No.
If they state their names,
we've kept that out.
yeah, we're gonna, you know, keep privacy as a number one thing, unless somebody tells us, hey, yeah, use my name. But I don't think we got any of those. So we're gonna the names that they do say, they gave us permission to use the names.
Oh yeah.
Or they've been, you know, changed. So just
Before we get
heads up.
started, I want to do a full. Here's the suit.
I mean,
It has a fucking cape.
it's pretty sick.
Crazy.
That's pretty sick.
All right. And back down. I was like, I'm showing them, but I'm sitting down.
I guess that's a good point. Well, I mean, I got the jacket, and then I have you guys saw the helmet, and then I also have this, which is the little Walkman and the headphones. I also have one of his little guns, which is cool. And then I also have his the shirt that he wears in the second movie. So I have that underneath because I know it's gonna get hot under this jacket. So it'll be fun. I have these little like joggers on, and then some J's on my feet.
J's
look like
on
me.
my feet.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. We fucking went all out. I wanted to get a Wolverine costume because, you know, obvious reasons the movie came out.
We were going to do Deadpool Wolverine, and then we were like, well, a lot of people might do that. And also didn't do it in time.
Yeah, I didn't get mine in time.
So
but
we pivoted.
would have been fun though. Yeah. So maybe next year.
Until next time.
All right, Jake, lead us off.
Get my sniffles out, you know?
Yeah. Gross.
All right. Story 1. When I was in college from 2008 to 2014, I was an avid metal detectionist. I knew of an old military trail and river crossing way back in a secluded portion of the woods. I knew that not many others were aware of this spot. After some debate with myself, I finally decided one winter morning that I was going to go and metal detect the area. The trail is about a mile or two from the city park along the South Concho River in San Angelo, Texas. I parked my truck, got all my gear, which included a serrated knife for digging, and began my trek through the raw woods and brush for the trail. About halfway in the trees, I reached the clearing and found a tent and campsite about 40 yards back from the river. It was very isolated. There were cans laying all around, some clothes, and other stuff that made it evident that someone was using it. I didn't hang around for long and kept on my way. But as I walked past the tent, this haggard-looking guy came out of the brush just a few feet from me. I startled him as much as he startled me, and after some innocent chit-chat back and forth, he asked what I was doing in the woods. I told him about the old trail, my metal detecting stuff, and lied that it was pretty well-known site for hobbyists like me. The latter seemed to get him a bit anxious. He started asking me if I messed with his campsite. I told him no, except for accidentally stepping on one of his cans. He was mostly concerned if I had looked into the tent itself, though, which truthfully, I hadn't. The guy related that his wife had kicked him out of the apartment a few days ago, and he was just staying in the woods until he got back on his feet. His story really didn't add up in my mind, but I didn't ask anything else about it. I finally told him that I was going to be on my way, and with a weird look on his face, he suggested that I not go behind his campsite because he had recently used the bathroom back there. Whether there was fresh fertilizer back there or not, no way was I going to be hanging around much longer regardless. I went a little further towards the trail that I wanted to metal detect, but I never quite got comfortable. So I made a quick turn towards the river and headed back to my truck fairly quickly. I never saw the guy again, but about 2 years later, his picture was on the local news for being apprehended by authorities for murder of his wife. He had killed her and then buried her in the exact area of woods where I encountered him that day. Apparently, even though I can't recall if it was the very day of the crime or not, he had just completed the matter when we met. That's wild.
That is crazy.
You know, things can be weird, but, you just never know. Like when we talked about, Dahmer.
I was just going to bring that up.
Right?
I was just going to bring that up.
Never know what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's people. Well, I mean, I'll bring it up, dude. So our Bigfoot episode, if you guys don't know, if you haven't watched it, or if you didn't know it, the controversies, that was our first big hit with I guess hate, really, and it was a bunch of people who commented and sent us messages and things like that about us being dumb because we didn't believe in Bigfoot. And the thing is that we found out there's so many passionate people who talk about Bigfoot. I mean, they truly believe in Bigfoot. And I mean,
which we had no idea.
Well, yeah, we didn't know it was that crazy. I guess I'm not going to call it crazy because, I mean, fuck,
it wasn't that crazy. But it was just, we just were unaware.
Yeah, we were surprised at how many people. Well, there was one guy in specific, and he was talking about how, I've seen one, and they're very, the people that I'm familiar with or whatever are they're it's they're mythical creature, their creature, right, that they believe in, and that it was a religion to this guy, and I guess the people he was talking about, and we didn't realize how serious it was, and we didn't make a joke about it. I want to point that out, and we would never try to make joke. I mean, we might have a little lighthearted joke here and there, but at the end of the day,
pointing out our opinion on some facts of the matter.
The thing that we've realized is we're gonna give you guys the facts.
Can't no bullshit here.
and we're gonna make our own opinions on it. But the amount of people who get so upset over just an opinion is so absurd. And
I know.
I guess my point is that, if there's people out there who believe in Bigfoot and they have the time of their day to fucking just type a novel to a couple podcasters like who are just talking about the facts of Bigfoot. Like people can do whatever you're thinking in your head of like, nobody's actually doing that. There's somebody probably doing that. So it's like,
Probably, yeah.
people are crazy, dude. People are crazy. It's like, I mean, I more power to you if you're, you know, keeping it to yourself and stuff. But I mean, holy shit.
Well, you never know what's going on in someone else's head. And, you know, this dude was just on a walk. Just, you know how many people we pass in like the woods or a hiking trail?
Yeah.
You never know what they were doing there that day, right?
Not. Never know.
Most people are going to be just hiking through the trail and minding their own business.
The majority of people are probably like us who we, you know, I mean, they're level-headed people and things like that. And, you know, you don't take things too seriously, right? I mean, if somebody comes and hates on you because they disagree with something you're saying, it's like, well, we have the facts and you don't. Like,
however, when you feel something is weirdly off about your encounter with someone,
dude,
flags fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, it's human nature to just like freak out over weird things.
Well, it's that,
and what people say.
It's our primal instinct of like
survival. I might need to stay away from you.
Yeah. That's weird. I'm going to dip out. Like
have a nice day. See ya.
Yeah. Well, fuck, I lost what I was going to say. Poop.
Maybe it'll come back.
Oh, no. That's what it's. The vibe that you get from somebody, or I guess as the kids call it now, aura.
It's more visual.
That could be visual.
You can't see like someone's aura. Can you?
That's what you just said, that aura is visual.
Right. But can you actually see it?
I don't think so. I think it's, again,
you know, you can feel people's vibe, right? You can feel it.
I'm pretty sure vibe is just it's just what
the kids are saying.
Yeah. Aura is just a vibe. That's
maybe
all it
I
is.
am getting old.
Believe me, dude. I heard somebody say skibbity and I was like, what the fuck is that? And yeah, some girl told me about it at work today. She was like, yeah, check out this thing. It's that's so skibbity. I was like, what? And then this other girl was like, dude, that's Baja Blast. I'm like, is this how my parents felt when I was saying like yeet and beast and shit?
Had to be.
It's crazy. I'm here now. So that's weird. I guess I'm a boomer. Anyway, I'm going to go through this one. Be ready for story number 2. I was dating this woman once. She unfortunately had an abusive, sick, and twisted ex-husband. She had 3 kids and once told me, quote, "You were the opposite of my ex. The kids, Joe, Sarah, and Jake, adore you," end quote. Hi, Jake. She worked full-time at a disabled children's home and was attending school full-time at night. I helped out by watching the kids, made dinner, and helped with their homework. I also enjoyed taking Sarah Bear to club softball practice. I'd often take my girlfriend to her university, which was in Reno, about a half-hour drive away. I'd always get her a sub sandwich just the way she liked. Things were going well one day until she found out that her ex committed suicide. She felt guilty about it, even though he had beat her and actually sexually assaulted her. We were in bed one night having a minor argument when suddenly there was a loud bang. His picture that she had on her nightstand had flown off the wall and crashed onto the floor. There was a buzz in the air and a weird smell struck our nostrils, almost like sulfur. We were fully creeped out, and it was a long, sleepless night. She was feeling so guilty and afraid that she ended up breaking it off on St. Patrick's Day a week later. I ran into her kids pretty often following the breakup, and they said that they miss me. And I really miss doing reading lessons with 3rd grade Jake.
3rd grade Jake?
I learned that she got her degree, got that job promotion at the place that she loved, and married an Army sergeant with 3 kids of his own about 6 months later. Anyone else run into a jealous ghost?
It is kind of bizarre. It's like, why his picture, right? That is an odd thing to happen.
Have you ever seen? Did you ever watch A Ghost Story? A24 film?
I've tried. I've fallen asleep because I usually try to put it on when I'm going to bed, which is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. But it is
I need
kind
to
of
watch it, yes.
It is kind of a slow movie, and I know a lot of people are like, it's just a dumb thing. But I thought it was a quite beautiful film. Maybe I saw it at a low point or something, and it hit me. But yeah, there's like a 10-minute scene of Rooney Mara eating a pie. That's all it is. It's like 10 minutes of your life, and you're just watching this girl just eat a pie. Yeah.
Interesting.
But the whole point of it is that she and her husband, they loved each other.
Did they just eat pies together?
I don't know if that was ever the thing. She ate a pie.
Kind of makes sense, right?
It was a weird thing. It was supposed to show like grief and stuff like that because her husband died, and he basically becomes a ghost, and it's kind of like an interesting take on haunted house stories because at some point he's just forced to sit there in this house and watch his girlfriend move on or his wife move on. And she does actually at one point she brings a guy home and he starts like throwing shit and stuff and the lights are flickering and stuff. And it's like, I mean, think about it. If I was a ghost and I had to see like my wife like doing some other dude, I'd be pissed. I don't care if I'm dead.
Well, that and you're going to try and do whatever you can to mess it up. Right?
Well, I mean, again, it's like when I die, like if I died prematurely and, my wife was, I don't want to make her like not move on because like I would want her to move on. But I think the pain there is that you were sitting there forced to watch that.
Because you can't go anywhere else.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, if I was able to just move on and be like, okay, cool. And then, if, when they're getting down, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go.
You can move on. You go to a different place and you come back like 5 years later and you go, oh, she's doing great. She's happy, sick. And then you're gone again.
Yeah. But I think the idea of just being a ghost and just sitting in a corner of a house while they're hooking up, that would suck. That would hurt.
You're in the land of limbo.
Yeah.
Like Jack.
Yeah. No,
Cursed to walk the earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, that sucks. But also, it's quite unfortunate that she felt guilty for the death of her ex, especially going through kind of the brutal life that she lived with the dude.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
Because, getting beat like that, that's just not okay. And hard to get out of sometimes,
Yeah. Well, I know that, I know one of my exes, she actually kept in contact with her ex-boyfriend when we were dating. And the reason why was because he was like that. He was
it's like don't piss Jeff off or he'll be pissed.
He was like mentally ill, and he continuously said like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't respond and stuff. And she thought it was crazy, but she told him like, I'll text you once every day, say hey, how are you doing, and then like that's it. And I literally was like, that's crazy, but I do kind of like, I commend that because it was like, okay, you like this guy could kill himself and you're just saying, hey, how you do? Like you make a deal to where it's like I understand overstepping boundaries, but at the same time, it's not her responsibility.
No, it's not.
But it's also like, if you can save a life.
That's where the guilt would come in. Right, because if you didn't text him and he does it, now you think it's on you.
Yeah, it's not on you, but that's where that comes from. Yes, so I fully understand that.
So that's just a crazy circumstance.
It's a shitty situation.
Yeah.
All right.
Story 3. When I was a kid, my mom was scolding me because my room was a mess. I was pissed and I turned my head in her direction. The only way I can explain it is my sight locked in on a small pencil case I had on a shelf and followed the movement of my face as I turned it. The case went out flying in her direction, following the rapid movement of my head and landed on her feet. We were both so surprised and the discussion died right there. I don't claim to have psychic abilities as it only happened once. Interesting.
That one's interesting. Yeah.
It's like some unexplainable events.
Yeah. And if it never happened again or whatever, like that's crazy. But dude, oh my God. Have you ever, when you were growing up, did you ever think like I'm going to move this thing and you just fucking like concentrate your hardest to like move it, but like it never moves?
I have tried this. Yes, I have.
Have you also ever sat in class and you're just so bored that you look at somebody and you go, if you can hear my thoughts, like turn and look at me, and then they don't, and you're like, fuck.
So I was watching How I Met Your Mother last night, and they have that concept in the show.
Oh, yeah.
When they when Lily and Marshall can telepathically talk, and they're like, oh shit, what's going on? Like they're in their thoughts and they're just like talking back and forth. And I'm just like, that would be so cool.
That
if
would
you
be
could do
crazy.
that.
That would be fucking wild, dude.
But like, would you be able to pick who you're talking to, or does everyone just hear your thoughts? That's like, like a 5 foot radius, you know? Because like, if you're sitting here and you're talking shit about someone over,
I was gonna say
on the other side of the room.
I remember doing that in the airport one time. There was this guy and he like bogarted me, and I literally was like, I like squinted and I was like, you bitch. And he actually like turned around and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, holy shit.
You say it in your head again and you're like, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Be like, bro, our beef is squashed if you can hear me.
It's kind of crazy though.
Yeah.
But like, it only
was
happened
just a
one
coincidence.
time though.
Yeah.
And for you, one time, right?
Well, I'm saying like with this story, it could, I mean, I'm sure there was some kind of coincidence, but I don't know if I believe in.
And I'm sure they probably tried again.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, let me just focus.
Something had to, maybe it was a ghost. All right. For the next story. We lived in a house for less than a year because of how haunted it was. Apparently, the guy who lived there went nuts and killed his entire family and then himself. We didn't find out about this until it was too late. In my brother's room, handles on the dresser would rattle. The light in the closet clicked on and off. It was one where you had to pull the string. His door would slam closed often. In the room me and my sister shared, I got slapped one night, and when I turned on the light, there was a very clear red mark in the shape of a handprint on my face. My sister often kept loose change in a tin bucket at the foot of our bed. Or at the foot of her bed, sorry. As soon as we heard the change clink and clank, I'd flip the switch on above my head, and in those few seconds, the change was scattered all over the room. In Mom's room, the baby would always point behind me and say, "Monster, monster." I refused to go in there when I was home alone. That part of the house felt the darkest. Mom, however, never believed us. She would always blame us for turning all the pictures around on the mantle or the rug being pulled out from under the coffee table when she came home after the house was empty all day. She swore she never believed in ghosts until the popcorn incident. We were all watching a movie in the living room. She threw away the empty popcorn bucket. No one else got up except for Mom during this movie. When she got up for like 10 minutes later for one more drink, the popcorn bucket was in the middle of the floor. Knowing it couldn't possibly be any of us, she threw it away again and forbade anyone from moving from their spots. She checked back 10 minutes later. There it was again, right in the middle of the kitchen floor. She threw it in the woods out back after that. The next morning, it was sitting on top of the step of the front porch. She packed us up that day, and we never went back.
Spooky.
It is spooky.
That's it's like if you are experiencing that in your house and that happens, in movies, they stay and they're like, oh, this is our house. Like, oh, whatever. I would get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Too, I'm not trying to live 100%. In no haunted house.
Well, it's not where it ends there. It doesn't end there. There's still a little bit more to this. So, story goes. Later, I was working at a warehouse, and this girl next to me was talking about how she had just moved into a place less than a month ago and that she thinks it's haunted. That her alarm clock keeps going off at random times, so she unplugged it, only to wake up for it to be plugged in and going off again in the middle of the night. I asked her where she lived. Turned out to be that same house.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Yeah. Me and my sister, who worked there too, pulled up the news article of a man who killed his entire family there. And told her what we experienced. She moved out swiftly, and that was the last we heard of that house. Always wanted a paranormal crew to check it out, though.
It's kind of a crazy story, though.
It is crazy, dude.
Like, very harmless.
Yeah.
But, like, creepy nonetheless.
Fucking wild to see that.
You're like... And then it starts to probably get to your head, like, I put this fucking thing here, and it's being moved.
Yeah.
And you think it's your kids, and they're like, "It's not us, Mom."
Yeah, I know, man. That is wild. So
Spooky though. Yeah. I mean, just tear that bitch down.
at that point. Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting. Like I always think about it in horror movies too. It's when they get the cops involved and then like what horror movie was it? You know, usually the cops show up and they go, there's nothing here. And then they leave or they get like effed with. What horror movie was it? Is it The Conjuring 2? When the cops go in and then like the chair flies across the room and they're like, oh, okay, this is crazy. And then
I think it is Conjuring 2.
Is it? Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's cool when they bring in like government people and then they experience it because then they're like, oh shit, like what do we do now? You know, and I think that's so cool.
Call the damn priest.
Well, it is crazy. It's like, what would happen if like the fucking, like a scientist was haunted? Like, you think he would just be like trying to figure out every which way that something could have happened? Or do you think like he actually would be like, oh shit, there's a ghost. And then you have to convince other scientists like, hey, there's ghosts out there. And then like, you see what I mean?
Yeah, it would be weird. It'd be very hard.
Imagine like
difficult.
It's a belief thing, right? It's a belief. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you not? It's not a scientific thing. It's like Bigfoot. We gave the facts about Bigfoot, but there's people out there who swear by it that there's Bigfoot. It's like it's an experience thing, but at a certain point, can you prove that they exist? And how would society be if it did exist? So if ghosts were real and like it was scientifically proven that like when you die, like part of you, like I don't know how you would prove that, but if you did,
you would have to simulate death, basically.
Bro, life would be fucking way different.
Oh, I know.
There'd be like a branch of the government just totally focused on just, you know, ghost busting. Mm-hmm. You got a ghost in your house? we got a guy here in Colorado. This isn't a sponsorship, but his name is Frank Diazar, and he always pulls up on the Broncos games. So it's be like, Frank Diazar, the strong arm. Were you hurt in a car accident? You know, whatever. Mm-hmm. If we if ghosts exist, you think there'd be people out there? Do you have a ghost in your house? Well, call me. I'll bust those ghosts.
Seems like an animated comedy skit.
It does. It's so crazy. I don't know. I just think that's kind of funny to think about. But yeah, I do like horror movies when they do that.
Yeah, no, but they always investigate it, and they don't ever just leave because that would make a bad movie, right?
I mean, it would. It'd be like, have you seen those memes where they'll show? I guess one of them I saw was it was Liam Neeson, and he's like on the phone during the movie Taken, and he's like, do you have my daughter? And the guy was like, yeah, but we're giving her back. And then it just shows like the credits.
It's true though.
It's like that stuff.
If little things just like went differently in a movie, it wouldn't be a whole movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You have to make a fucking like hour and a half plus movie.
Yeah.
But it's just always funny because they're always investigating like with the fucking Conjuring and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're always just like, oh, let's just check out our house, make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, they deal with a little more possession type stuff. So it's like, can't leave because your fucking child or whatever, significant other or child, whatever is being possessed.
Yeah. It's
is kind of stuck there. Yeah. Right. And so you don't want to leave.
Yeah. Another one though that was funny was Lord of the Rings. It was like Frodo didn't take the ring, and then it was just the credits. I think that shit's so funny. So
movies in a minute.
All right, man. Hit us with that story 7.
Story 7? All right.
Or I'm sorry, story 6. I moved to 7.
Yeah. I was on the next one.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Okay. It's a long story. I was 15 at the time. I had a Christian friend, but I was the skeptic atheist in our friendship. One night, we were walking to his house here in Mexico City. We saw 3 black metallic spheres hovering, completely silent and still. I didn't jump to the conclusion that it was a UFO because, again, I was the skeptic one. But I ran several explanations through my mind, and none coincided. They weren't helicopters, balloons, planes, satellites, birds, and nobody knew about drones. We made a run. His grandma, Christian too, was waiting for us with dinner ready, but we were just yelling what we saw. We referred to them as spheres because that's what we had seen, not UFOs. She looked at us, not very convinced, but we went up to my friend's rooftop. From there, we could get a better look. The 3 spheres were still there. They went from completely still to moving towards the horizon, maintaining a perfect triangular formation at the exact same time. And after them, from the other side of the sky, it was dawn, so half the sky was already completely dark already. We saw a fleet of these things. I swear by everything sacred in my life, there were like 50 of them. They were moving in 2 main columns, each of which had inner formations, triangular in pairs, diamond shape, and singular spheres. I thought it was the end of the world, as ridiculous as that may sound. I wasn't even into UFOs at the time. My friend's grandma even got on her knees and began praying something about the end of times. But the spheres just continued until they disappeared into the horizon. I got home and told my parents, but they didn't really believe me until the next morning when my dad got the newspaper article about seeing spheres in the sky downtown. I swear I didn't just misjudge what I saw. Now, every time I read or hear debates about whether UFOs are real or not, it kind of frustrates me because I have seen them, me and 2 other individuals.
Yeah, that one's crazy. I again, fully believe in aliens.
I mean, I haven't seen any crazy UFOs going crazy in the sky. Mm-hmm. However,
you do believe in aliens, right?
Yes, I believe there's extraterrestrial life out there somewhere.
Yep.
But
you don't just believe it's like a fucking plant, though, right? Like you actually believe there's like another being out there.
Yeah. But they probably don't look like us or whatever. Maybe they do. I don't know. Not the point. The point is, you showed me a video your dad sent.
Yeah.
That was a crazy fucking video.
Yeah, dude.
That video, I honestly had no explanation for what the fuck just flew across the sky like that. That was crazy.
I should say that. So one night, Jake and I were hanging out with one of our friends, Maddie. Shout out, Maddie.
Shout out.
And my dad calls me just in the middle of this movie we were watching, and all of a sudden, fucking, he's like, Cal, holy shit. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, what, Dad? He goes, I just saw a freaking UFO. Oh my God, holy shit. Like, I had never heard my dad so like freaked out, I guess, before. I mean, my dad, he's a big dude, you know, I mean, my dad is like, in my mind, he's like Chuck Norris. Like, this dude could beat the shit out of anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not afraid of anything. Every time we've been in a crazy situation, this man handles it without panic. Like, it's crazy. And to hear him freaking out like this, I was like, holy shit, what the hell happened? So he tells me he's outside. We have a 40-acre land or whatever my parents live on. And, we like to walk down to the end of our long driveway with our dogs. Dog now, I guess.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bam Bam. Love you, buddy. Anyway, so he was walking down the it's nighttime and stuff, and we'll walk down, and he said he was walking Dax, our other German Shepherd, and he said all of a sudden he sees this giant fucking light in the sky just shooting across the sky, and he goes, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "It's not a satellite. It's too low to be a satellite, but it's too high to be like a drone." And it was too quick, I guess, to be a plane. You know, planes usually have the other flashing lights and stuff. And he goes, it didn't make a sound. He goes, it was flying. It was squiggling all over the place. And then he goes, all of a sudden, the thing comes flying right at me. And he goes, holy shit. And he said he and Dax took off running up the driveway because he goes, I'm going to see like a fucking alien. And he's like, he's trying to watch it so he went to go grab his phone. And he gets on the back deck. And we have this big like skyline view of fucking Pikes Peak, right? And he said, well, this is the video. He said he got a little bit, and it was flying across the sky, and then all of a sudden, it like drops like straight down over on like the horizon, and a light comes out from underneath it and is shining like a spotlight, like looking around, and then all of a sudden, it just like the whole thing disappears. And that was the video I showed you, was the spotlight looking around. And I got chills because I've seen that before. And well, not like the spotlight thing, but I've seen, UFO shit before. And so when I saw that, I go, holy shit, Dad, I was like, what is fucking crazy?
And that spotlight was shining a long distance.
Oh, it was like miles, dude. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And then also, Cal goes, dude, my dad hasn't texted me back in like an hour.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, he goes, because this is how the conversation on the phone ended. He sent the video. I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, I'm back here on the back deck, and he goes,
I gotta go.
He goes, is that it? Holy shit, Cal, I gotta call you back. And I was like, that was it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like a cliffhanger, dude.
I'm like, did my dad just get abducted? What the fuck? Oh my God.
He was okay.
He was good. Yeah, he calls me back later, and I'm like, what's up, Dad? He's like, nah, just watching the game. I'm like, what the hell? What happened? He's like, oh, it flew back over, and then that was it. I was like, holy shit. Crazy though.
Yeah, no, that was a crazy video that I have no explanation for. That was just the wildest shit.
Maybe we'll post it on the YouTube or some shit. I don't know. If you guys want to see it, I don't know.
Comment.
Yeah, comment or something. We'll post it.
If we get enough comments and stuff, It
is crazy.
We'll
it's a frightening video for sure, especially if you've seen UFO stuff. Police
It's
going
the
crazy.
cops.
Yeah, they're going crazy out there.
Oh shit, it's the cops.
All right. So let's do this next one. So this happened to my brother around 5 years ago. One morning at around 11, he saw a black human-shaped shadow run from one room to the another. He could see that only for a split second due to the place he was standing at. We also had a dog at the time, and he was with him. Our dog started barking and ran inside the room, but when my brother checked it, there was nothing. He isn't someone who gets scared easily, but was almost shitting his pants. I also experienced things like knocking from empty rooms and doors slamming a few times. We don't live there any longer, but that house gave us a lot of thrills at times.
Creepy.
Yeah, so there's that one. Goddamn, we have a long one coming up. We got to get going.
We lived in a house back when I was really young, and Josh claims that there was some shit going on downstairs.
That's what he told me. He said that
he said he got pulled down the stairs.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, our basement was creepy. It was very scary. Like, it was one of those old houses, with the crawl space behind, like, the downstairs bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
It's like another room, just like fucking dirt room, but like fucking creepy that it's just like behind the mirror and that's how you accessed it.
That is cool.
And yeah, that bathroom, you definitely got chills down there.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it because I never experienced what he claims to have, but
it's crazy.
It is wild.
I will say one thing that just reminds me, one thing that I want to have in my house when I get older is a goddamn bookshelf thing. Like the thing where you pull one book and then the shelf. What? It's a ghost.
Soul.
You know what I mean though? The bookshelf thing? Like Batman.
Like where you pull the book and then it
the
opens
whole
the
thing
secret
opens.
passageway.
That'd be so sick.
It's like make the tunnel system like the Stanley Hotel.
Dude, it's so cool. I'm just like, that is so cool. I don't know. I want a room like that. And maybe it leads into like my dolphin man cave or something. That's so cool.
All right. This story was told to me by my parents and siblings. It's not to say that I wasn't present, because I was. I was little, like 4 years old, and my parents were looking to buy a house and move us out of our more rough around the edges neighborhood. They were excited one day as they found an amazing home. They wasted no time in taking me and my sibling, who's much older than me, to look at it. The place was perfect, huge, renovated, and featured a gorgeous pool. It was basically a done deal, so my mom sent us off to explore while she and my dad took it all in. The way the story goes was that everyone was in separate rooms when they simultaneously got the feeling to look outside. When they did, they saw me lovingly staring at the pool. While seeing a little kid next to the pool isn't scary, it's how I was acting that scared them. I had been in swimming lessons since I was a baby and was a strong swimmer, and yet I looked as though I was going to just slowly walk off straight into the pool. They all said I looked hypnotized, in a complete trance, like I was being called by the water. They all raced out at the same time to get me, and they said I was out of it. It took me a while to come to. We're Hispanic and firmly believe in La Llorona, so my parents were spooked. Surprisingly, we did not buy the house.
Damn.
You know, that story kind of reminds me of Night Swim.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
first of all, fuck that movie. But second of all, okay, come for my head if you want, but I did like La Llorona.
I did too.
The Conjuring movie.
Yeah, no, I did too. I thought it was pretty good.
Also, big
A
fan
little
of Linda.
cheesy though.
Yeah, big fan of Linda. She's in that movie.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah. She's an amazing actress.
She's so pretty.
That she is. Grandma's boy.
Yeah. Velma. Hawkeye's wife.
New girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy story. I mean, you know, a lot of Hispanic families, I believe in the curse of that.
La Llorona.
Yeah, which is a pretty wild thing.
It's a wild thing. All right, I got you.
Okay, get me.
All right. I grew up in Nashville and worked on Music Row as an adult. Lots of history on those streets. When I first started my business at the salon, I was working late nights alone. One of the hairdressers asked if I ever got scared there alone at night, and I asked her not to explain further. This was because I didn't have a choice but to work the late nights at the time to hopefully get my business going. The area wasn't super duper booming the way it is today, and some areas could still be semi-sketchy. It was early summer when we noticed this homeless man and woman hanging out around our parking lot. They weren't bothering anybody, so we just let them be. We started noticing they were breaking into a garage to sleep at night and taking small things like sodas and shampoo. The owner was really sweet and he didn't do much, although we did change the doorknob / alarm systems numerous times. But then one day, I got to work and saw crime scene tape everywhere. When I got into work, a coworker asked if I saw or smelled a dead body. Luckily, I missed this, but of course wanted to know what was happening. The homeless man from earlier was found in the basement with a needle of kerosene in his neck. All of us were freaked out and didn't understand what happened. This was around September that year. Things went back to normal until December, when we came back from Christmas break. I needed to get into the salon one night, and the manager said no one was allowed there alone at night any longer after a recent break-in. When I asked why this was different than the others, the manager told me that she went to the salon during break and entered as usual, but she found stuff everywhere. Paper, checks, money, retail, supplies, products. She said it looked like a tornado hit the salon. But when she called the police, they said clearly something happened, but due to no forced entry, there was nothing they could do about it. Nothing was missing either, and there was a note on the computer screen, handwritten with a pen from the desk, that read, quote, "Doom everyone will die," end quote. After that, weird stuff started happening. Lights flickering, sinks running, toilets flushing, banging, things going missing. Every day when I came back from lunch, my door handles would be missing. And if I set up my area for services, it would be everywhere. There was one day when I had later appointments in the day, but got a call from the salon asking if I'd left every light and door on / open when I left the prior night. I did not. Same phone call. I was asked if I brought kids to work that day who were playing upstairs where my offices were. I hadn't even been there. They said they heard kids running and playing from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and watched as every client and worker left, yet the noise continued. When I got there, I still heard the noises and no one had felt comfortable enough to go upstairs yet. So I did. All the lights were on, but the noise stopped. I went into every room saying, "Hello, who's there?" No one could be found. Another night, the manager said she was doing accounting downstairs at the desk and she started hearing noises upstairs again. She ignored them until she clearly heard somebody coming down the steps, and she said that she got a terrible feeling. As the steps got closer to her until it was right at her face, she said it was a burst of cold air and she got the feeling of doom, everyone will die. She called her husband and ran down the street away from the building in tears. Shortly after that, she called a ghost hunting team and they went to the basement and did an EVP recording, etc. I didn't feel comfortable staying after work, but the next day I was told that there was tons of activity. I guess the voice that came through claimed to be a demon, said their name, can't remember, but I think it was Kevin, said the word scruples, said that they were murdered and that they were angry. My psychic friend said that it wasn't a demon, but a very angry dead person. Demons actually manifest writing utensils, but ghosts use things nearby. Things were significantly heightened after that night. The activity picked up to a point where I was terrified to go to work or be in either of my offices. I started looking for other jobs, and some of my clients' friends didn't feel comfortable coming anymore. One day, a girl was standing in our break room and a plate flew off the microwave across the long room and hit her in the forehead, and she had to get stitches. I resigned after that. I was so sad because I loved the job. I loved the location. The manager also mentioned that before any of that happened, quote, she'd always seen stuff go across the floor. What's weirder is there's now a podcast out about a murder that happened in the 80s, one street over, and the victim's name was Kevin. I tried to contact the old manager to see if she remembers the name of the ghost in the recording or even just the EVP recording itself, because I cannot for the life of me find the story or recording. But wouldn't that be weird? The owner of the salon never would acknowledge any of the stuff that was going on and wound up selling the building to a medical practice. I've recently seen that the building is for sale again. I wonder who that was, and it was such a weird time.
Crazy.
As well. Fucking Kevin.
Fucking Kevin.
Fucking Kevin.
Dude, he resigned quickly.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
He's like, oh, she got hit with a plate. I'm out of here. Thank you. Wild story.
Yeah. That one's crazy.
A long one. Keyboard warrior over there.
Fuck, dude. That was... Yeah, it's a wild one. All right, you got the last one here. Which... What are we at?
56.
Okay, thank God.
Well, remember, there's like 4 or 5 minutes of extra bullshit at the beginning because
it's all right. Keep going. Just do that one.
Story number 10. There's a ghost in my apartment, but not of a human variety. My boyfriend, 2 doggos, and I are being haunted by a ghost of a canine. Both of us have lived in a haunted house before, so the paranormal activity didn't really bother us. Finding out that we had a third invisible canine was a bit of a surprise, though. We established that we were the proud owners of a deceased canine when we started hearing dog claws clicking on the floor and tags clinking against a collar, only to discover that both our dogs were happily snoring in their big old bed. I felt bad about referring to them as the ghost dogs, so I named them Zero, after Jack Skellington's cute little friend in Nightmare Before Christmas. As far as having a ghost dog goes, it's not much different than having a real dog, except you don't have to feed or walk them, and you can't really see him scratch his ears. I can't, anyway. They have yet to manifest in my presence. My boyfriend has seen him out of the corner of his eye when he was cooking or working on a guitar. He apparently listens very respectfully because he trotted into the living room when Scott told him he could go lay down with the other dogs if he wanted. Per his description, he just zoomed into the living room and must have jumped into the bed with Honey because she got a what the hell look on her face. We've established that Zero is a black and white border collie. Based on my boyfriend's description, I showed him photos of a bunch of dog breeds that matched his description of our invisible friend. He got super excited when we saw the border collie and yelled, "That's it. That's what Zero is." It was weirdly endearing. While I may not have seen him yet, I can always tell when he is on the couch by my feet because they get cold. I've also heard him walking around the bed when laying there on many occasions. I just had major surgery 10 days ago, so his patrols have increased in their frequency. Even if I can't see him, it's cool to know that I have another someone checking in on me to make sure I'm okay. As far as the living dogs go, I'm certain if they like Zero, but he's definitely been accepted into the pack. My bulldog will occasionally bark at him when he's active, but it's a curious bark as opposed to a scared bark. Sometimes they get a what the F look about them when he hops into bed with them, but they don't run or anything. They just seem to know that the dog isn't quite the same as the other dogs they've met and have made peace with their new roommate.
Hell yeah.
Very chill story.
Yeah.
Just have a ghost dog. He's just chilling.
I think that one's cool because it's like end on a happy note.
Oh yeah. Good old Zero.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys have enjoyed these stories that have been written. These stories that have been written and sent to us by you guys. Now, again, we will be putting out other content. We will also be, doing holiday specials. But next year, we'll probably have a couple other viewer submission episodes. So stay tuned for those. Follow our socials, and you can send us your scary stories because these were pretty wild. Do you have a favorite?
Honestly, I think my favorite was the guy in the woods.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, because that one's real.
Yeah,
that's like a real thing. Like it's real life. It's like you can
not to say that these other ones aren't real,
but I'm saying like that's like a dude killing somebody. Like that happens every day. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
it just like spooks you a little bit. It sends a chill down your spine.
Yeah, it does.
Especially because he's just trying to metal detect out there.
Yeah, I know. And then you just come across that, dude. It's wild. I think mine's the UFO one, just because I love the UFOs.
Yeah,
I hope that honestly, before I die, I hope to God that we like make contact with like an alien. That'd be so cool.
We could. Who knows?
The way things are going right now with like Elon and shit, dude, I could 100% see that. But yeah, it's crazy.
Well, and speaking of UFOs, we are driving down to Roswell.
Yeah, season 2 premiere.
That's going to be fun.
That will be fun.
We're going to experience a UFO McDonald's. That'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot more for the Patreon too. We're going to do a lot of like vlogs and stuff, and we'll have guests next season. There's guests, everybody. Yeah. We'll talk about some mysterious things, some unsolved mysteries, horror movies that are coming out and all that jazz. So be ready for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be a bigger season for sure.
Bigger, better.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
New set?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We were just finding our footing in this first season, and I think it's been pretty fun. I've enjoyed this. So
yeah.
Hope you guys have too.
I can't wait. Dude, I gotta try and get someone to build our set. I don't know how to build
Yeah, Jake's been trying to get us like a new, really cool like set.
It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works in this room. But
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in and joining us on this special Halloween night.
Yes, everybody. I hope that you eat all the candy you want. I hope that you watch all the horror movies you want. And I hope that you're dressed up with us, because otherwise we're going to look dumb.
It's true. Dress up with us. Have fun. Have a good night. Wink, wink. The rituals on Halloween. So,
yeah, for some people. If you're starting your Halloween with us, enjoy your day. Do all the spooky things you want to do and whatever. And hell yeah. If you're ending your day, then I hope that you had a great Halloween. And
totally. Also, if you have children, enjoy the night with them.
Yep.
And give them a good time, because those childhood memories are important.
Also check their candy, because we've learned from some of our past episodes, people be putting weird shit in candy.
And probably walk with your children around the neighborhood, because you never know who's your neighbor.
Yeah, that's a big part of this. You know, if there's one thing that I can say that this season of the Supernaturals is about, it's not trusting anybody. Whether it's
head on a swivel.
I mean, this whole season we've gone from Russian experiments to fucking murderers and serial killers to fuck your parents putting drugs in your pixie stick and fucking
just to claim some money.
Yeah. We've gone through a lot of stuff on this podcast this year, and the biggest takeaway is look out for yourself. Look out for number one. That's you.
That's you.
You know, make people earn that trust. Don't just give it willingly. Make people earn it.
It can be broken easily, though.
Can be broken easily. Forgive, or sorry, forgive. Don't forget. I mean, you don't have to forgive. It's fine.
You can choose that part.
Yeah. If somebody like cheats on you or some shit, don't forgive that shit. Fuck that.
However, it's been a fun ride, guys. Okay. It's been a blast having you alongside us for this journey. And we hope to see you when we roll up season 2 and along the way in our specials. So,
yep. We will see you guys on Thanksgiving.
Bye.
See you around the graveyard, folks. Happy Halloween from the Supernaturals.
Thanks for listening to this chilling episode of The Supernaturals. For your protection, make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And stay tuned for the next episode.